It's a Sunday afternoon, and Shazy is sitting alone in his car outside a house he just walked through, and he hasn't said a word in 9 minutes. The open house sign is still staked in the lawn. The agent waved him off a while ago, and he's just parked there in the driveway of a house that is not his and never will be, staring at a listing on his phone that says $400,000. It's not a mansion. It's a normal 3-bedroom on a normal street with a normal amount of beige carpet. Shazy makes good money, better than most people he knows, and he just did the math right there in the parking lot, the way thousands of people are doing it tonight, and landed on one ugly little question. If I can't afford the average house, then who exactly can? I've got good news and bad news. The good news is it's not you. You're not bad with money. You didn't miss some secret everybody else got. The bad news is the math is real, and it's uglier than the headline lets on, especially if you're trying to do it on one income. My name is Nick, and today we're going to find out exactly who can actually afford a $400,000 house in 2026, where you land on that ladder, and the one move that still gets a normal person through the door, even now. Let's start with the number you keep hearing, $400,000. That's right about the price of the median American home this year. In May 2026, the typical home in the United States sold for around $399,000. Median, meaning the middle, the boring middle, not the dream house, not the gut job fixer-upper, the exact center of the market. And the comforting story everyone tells around that number goes like this. Homes have always felt expensive. Every generation swore they couldn't afford it. You just save your down payment, follow the old rule, grow into the payment, and one day you're a homeowner. Your parents did it. Their parents did it. It's a rite of passage. Just be responsible. Redfin lovely story. Here's where it falls apart. The rule of thumb everyone grew up on says your house should cost about 3 to 4 times what you earn in a year. Under that guideline, a $400,000 home is a home for a buyer earning somewhere between $80,000 and $135,000 a year. Call the comfortable line somewhere around 110. Now, here's the number that snaps the story in half. The typical American household earns about $84,000 a year. And notice the word there, household. That's everybody in the place. Added together, the income you need to comfortably carry the median home now quietly assumes 2 paychecks walking in the door. Read that again. The median home costs $400,000. The income you need to comfortably carry it is north of $110,000. The middle household, 2 earners in all, makes $84,000. So even a whole household combined is roughly $30,000 a year short of the income it takes. Not a little short. A full income tier short. And Shazy is trying to do it with one income in a market built for 2. The average household cannot afford the average house. That sentence should not be possible. And yet, there's Shazy, alone in the driveway. And it gets sharper when you drop in the interest rate. A 30-year mortgage right now runs about 6.5%. Put 20% down on that $400,000 house, borrow the other $320,000, and your payment for just principal and interest lands around $2,000 a month. Then you bolt on property tax and insurance, and realistically, you're staring at $2,600 a month or more before you've flipped on a single light switch. For a lender to sign off on that without sweating, they want to see you clearing well over $100,000 a year. One median earner is nowhere close. Freddie Mac. So before we go further, pause the video. I mean it. Open your phone, pull up any free mortgage calculator, and punch in $400,000 6.5%, 30 years. Look at the monthly number it gives you. Now open your banking app and look at what actually lands in your account every month. Hold those 2 numbers side by side. That gap, the space between what the house costs and what you bring home, that's the entire video. Write it down. I'll wait. Got it? Good. Now let's find out exactly where you stand, because there's a ladder here and everybody's standing on a rung. Here's the affordability scoreboard for a $400,000 house in 2026. If your income is under $84,000 a year, which is half the country, the honest truth is the median home is out of reach at today's rates without real help. A big down payment, a cheaper market, or a special loan program. You're not behind. You're just on the wrong side of math. The country quietly rebuilt around you. If you earn between $84,000 and $110,000, you can technically get approved, but you will feel every dollar. This is the house poor tier. You can sign the papers, but a third of every paycheck disappears into the house, and the furnace will wait for the worst possible week to die. If you earn between $110,000 and $135,000, congratulations, you're in the genuinely comfortable tier. The bank likes you. The payment fits the old rule. You can own the median home and still breathe. And if you make more than $135,000 a year, the average house isn't even a stretch, and you're probably shopping above it anyway. You're not the one in the driveway. You're the one who already bought. Now here's the brutal part for the solo buyer. Every one of those tiers was written assuming a household, 2 incomes. So when Shazy, on one strong salary, lands in the 84 to 110 range by himself, he's pulling alone what the market now expects 2 people to pull together. That's not a discipline problem. That's one person being asked to lift a 2-person weight. Most people hear that comfortable number, 110 or so, and think, fine, I'll just get there. But before you exhale, income is only the part you can see. There's a second number hiding underneath it, and it's the one that actually stops people cold. Because qualifying on income is one thing, getting in the door is another. Let's talk about the down payment. 20% down on a $400,000 house is $80,000. $80,000 in cash, sitting in an account, ready to wire, on top of closing costs that quietly tack on another $10,000 to $15,000. So the responsible, do it the right way version of buying the median home asks one normal person to produce around $90,000 in cash he is not living on. Shazy, earning a solid income, does not have $90,000 in a drawer. Almost nobody saving on a single paycheck does. And if you think that's bad, here's the trap waiting for the people who try anyway. You don't have $80,000, so you put down less. 5%, 10%. Fair enough, plenty of people do. But the second you put down less than 20, the bank straps on private mortgage insurance, PMI, a monthly fee you pay for the privilege of being a risk to them. It does nothing for you. It protects the lender, and you pay for it. So the buyer with less money pays a higher monthly bill than the buyer with more. The system charges you extra for being short on cash, which is a fascinating way to help people afford homes. And we're still not done. Layer on property taxes, climbing right alongside home values. Layer on homeowners insurance, which in big chunks of the country has gone up brutally. Layer on the repairs nobody budgets for because renting taught you to call a landlord, and owning teaches you that you are the landlord now, and the water heater is your problem at 2 in the morning. And there's no second income to absorb any of it. One paycheck, every bill. Shazy ran his version of this. 10% down, PMI, taxes, insurance, and the all-in monthly number on that beige carpet 3-bedroom came out to almost $3,300 a month. On one income, that's not a house. That's a second job he pays to keep. And here's where I need to rehook you, because it would be easy to close this video feeling hopeless, and that is not where we're going. Stay with me, because in a few minutes, I'm going to hand you the actual move that still works. But first, you need to see why this happened, because once you see the villain, you stop blaming yourself. So how did the average house drift out of reach of the average person? It wasn't avocado toast. It wasn't your streaming subscriptions. It was 3 things that happened to the market while you were busy living your life. First, the rate lock. Back in 2020 and 2021, a whole generation of owners locked in mortgages around 3%. Now rates are 6.5%. So if they sell and buy again, they swap a 3% payment for a 6.5% payment on a pricier house. So they don't sell, they sit. Which means the homes that would normally hit the market never show up, and the few that do get fought over like the last lifeboat. Less supply, same demand, prices stay vicious. An entire market frozen in place because nobody can afford to move. Second, who's buying? While regular buyers got priced out, investors and big money stepped in, paying cash, scooping up exactly the modest starter homes normal people needed and turning them into rentals. So the bottom of the ladder, the affordable rung you were supposed to start on, got bought out from under you by someone who doesn't even need a mortgage. Third, what's getting built? Builders, staring at high costs, mostly quit building the cheap starter home. There's more profit in the big one. so the new supply skews expensive, and the entry-level house, the one your parents started in, basically stopped being made. Put it all together. Wages crawled, prices ran, rates jumped. The starter homes got bought by investors or never built at all. And the rule of thumb everyone keeps quoting, 3 to 4 times your income, was written for a market that no longer exists. And for 2 earners, not one. So when Shazy sits in that driveway feeling like a failure, understand what actually happened. He didn't fall behind. The finish line got picked up and moved while he was still running toward it. That's not a you problem. That's a math problem, and math problems have solutions. Here's the good news, and I mean it, because I am not leaving you in that driveway. Normal people, single income people, are still buying houses in 2026, just not the way the old rule says. Here's how it actually works now. 1. Kill the 20% myth. You do not need $80,000 down. FHA loans let qualified buyers in with around 3.5% down, which on a $400,000 house is about $14,000, not $80,000. Yes, you'll carry mortgage insurance, but $14,000 is a number a disciplined single saver can actually reach in a year or two. $80,000 is a fantasy for most people. The right move is the one you can actually pull off. 2. Buy under your max on purpose. The bank will gladly approve you for the biggest, scariest number you qualify for. Do not take it. If the comfortable payment for your income is $2,000 a month, buy the house with the $2,000 payment, even if it's smaller, older, or one neighborhood over. The house portier is optional. You are allowed to refuse to live there. And on one income, that discipline isn't optional anyway. It's the whole strategy. 3. Move the math by moving the map. That same $400,000 national median is a $600,000 house in some metros and a $250,000 house in others. There are whole regions of this country where even a single income still buys a comfortable home today. If your job has any flexibility on location, that flexibility is worth more than almost any raise. 4. Use the programs built for exactly this moment. First-time buyer programs, down payment assistance, state and local grants, rate buy-downs from builders sitting on unsold inventory. They exist, they're underused, and most people never even look because they assume they won't qualify. Look anyway. And 5. The quiet one. If the numbers don't work today, the most powerful thing you can do is not force them. Keep renting the cheaper place. Aggressively save the difference. Knock down your other debt so your debt-to-income ratio drops, and wait for a crack. Rates move. Inventory loosens. Your income grows. The buyer who's ready with cash and clean credit when the window cracks open is the one who walks away with the house. Patience isn't quitting. Patience is loading the gun. Let me show you what that looks like. Shazy walked away from the beige carpet house. Didn't buy it. Instead, he took an FHA loan, set his ceiling $200 below what the bank waved at him, and bought a smaller place 15 minutes further out for $320,000 instead of $400,000. His monthly came in around $2,600 instead of $3,300. It's not the dream house. It's a house. It's his. And the difference between $3,300 and $2,600 a month, saved and invested instead of overpaid, is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time that loan is done. That's the whole game. Not the biggest house you can qualify for. The right house you can actually carry on the income you actually have. So where do you actually stand? If you earn over $110,000, the median home fits. Buy smart and don't let the bank talk you into more. If you're between $84,000 and $110,000, you can get in, but buy under your max or you'll be house poor by spring. And if you're under $84,000, you are not a failure. You are the majority. And your move is the cheaper market, the assisted loan, or the patient save, not forcing a number that was rigged before you ever walked through the door. But the number that matters isn't the price on the listing tonight. It's where you'll be standing in 3 years when some other person is sitting in some other driveway, doing the same math, asking the same question, because the average household can't afford the average house, and the solo buyer is climbing an even steeper hill. That part is true, but the buyer who buys smart, buys small, and buys patient still ends up with a key in his hand. The house on the listing isn't the prize. The one you can actually afford to keep is. If this helped, subscribe and drop a comment telling me which tier you landed in. priced out, house poor, comfortable, or already in. No shame on any rung, we're all in the driveway together. One last thing, and it's the only boring sentence in here. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. It's just patterns with real numbers attached. Take what's useful and leave the rest. I'll see you in the next one.